Good day, good people. What's up? I hope you're living a blessed life, living your best life, being the best you can do, doing the best you can do, and not selling yourself short. Okay? Back on the walk. All right, getting it in after I ate about a little bit of time ago. But about to do our 0.75 mile walk around at the office. Let's see if we can beat it. It's been about a minute since I started my watch. It's a little chilly today. A little chilly. About to have the about to be cold. About to be real cold. About to be real cold. Alright, y'all. So I alluded to it before, but I have what I'm calling my Avengers Assemble team. Okay? Avengers Assemble. These are tools and things that'll help me on this journey and help establish, metrics and things like that to, what's the word I'm looking for? To aid in confirming whether I'm doing exactly what needs to be done. I'm trying to put one snap on my jacket, okay, so it doesn't fly open. So that'll confirm, what I'm doing. And the main metric that I'm going to be using is what they call a DEXA scan. So what a DEXA scan is it measures your fat mass, your lean mass, your bone density, all of those things. So it's a comprehensive, essentially x-ray of your body. Now, there is a cost to this service, but you get it like maybe once a quarter, or say you've been working really hard and you want to see how your body changes. So what I'm going to do tomorrow when y'all see me, what I'll be doing is pulling up to the DEXA scan truck. And so they're a mobile truck. I'll show you exactly the full breakdown, and then we'll talk about it in detail. But step number one is to do what we've been doing, right, in terms of diet, right? Diet is first and foremost. If your diet's not right, then whatever you desire to do, it's not going to work out. It's not going to it's going to help, but you won't really get to the place where you need to get to. And one of my biggest things is I've had that reoccurring over and over and over again in my life. And now I'm finally at the point where it's like, stop BSing around and do it the way you need to do it. You don't have to deprive yourself, but you do have to be smart about it. So you got to be intentional about it, right? So the DEXA scan is the next component to this. And I think a lot of times we become overwhelmed at the whole entire, process of this, because it's so many steps, and it's like, well, now I've got to do this, and now I got to pay attention to that, and now I've got to, what you mean? What do you mean? All the bread in the store is ultra processed. What do you mean? What do you mean? Just because it says whole wheat bread doesn't make it necessarily whole wheat bread. And the whole process is super cumbersome. And sometimes I found a lotto ticket. I don't think they won. But they could have. It's a $50 ticket. So let's see here. We got 35, 43, 54, 6. I don't know. I'm gonna scratch off the bottom and see. Look, I'm gonna put this right here. I'm gonna scratch off the bottom, take it to the store, and we gonna see. How old is this? First of all. But anyway, it makes it so hard, you know, to stick with it and stay on track, because it's like layer after layer after layer after layer, and you're like, well, now I gotta learn this, now I gotta learn this, and it's like, oh, I gotta get up and put this energy towards here, and I gotta put that energy towards there. When you try to take it over all at one time, absolutely. Absolutely. But the thing is, and this is what I hope to show you and to communicate to you, those of you who are watching, it's just the matter of not giving up. Because I started really trying. Well, I first started trying in 2013, 2014 was when I first started trying. Right? That was my first thing. I did it for about 30 days, right? And I could feel my life changing in that 30 days. But I would turn around, go get a good workout in, and then eat an ultimate double bacon cheeseburger from Jack in the Box with a soda. Like, yeah, you're supposed to eat after you work out. But when your body doesn't have a wellness level in your cells, then that's drastic, right? So that's what was not working for me, period, at all. And that's the type of stuff I was doing. Like, I would go work out, but then essentially I would binge. So it's like, but did you even do? Now, what did work was my endurance. My endurance progressed. Those types of things. Yeah, that worked. But as far as seeing an overall change in my life, I really didn't. So it was 2017 when I would say that I really started being aware. And more so aware than like here and there, but taking certain action steps. Right? Got linked up with a buddy at work. Shout out to you, Dana. And, you know, she taught me how to lift weights. And the whole mentality with that came with it. And so from there, I became stronger and better. And so, but I still didn't have the diet piece down. I still didn't have the diet piece down. And at that point in time, I was doing too much deprivation, right? So I was like, oh, I gotta eat this many calories. I gotta track this, and then my body wasn't getting what it really needed. And so therefore, I just crashed. And was like, bump this. Because I wasn't addressing my body in a holistic way. Now, that's a mouthful right there. Okay? That's a full mouthful. Addressing your body in a holistic way. Understanding the relationship. That's what I didn't understand. I didn't understand the relationship that foods played with my hormones, and knowing that your hormones are what's all jacked up, and you got to reprogram your hormones to then tell your body that this is the way we were supposed to be. And our bodies are naturally healing, right? So our bodies are meant to heal themselves, right? That's the way God created us. And so it wasn't until recently, like in 2024, recently, that I was like, oh, wait a minute. So like I was looking at all these different things, moving a certain way in my mind, thinking about it, but not understanding the relationship. So you have to remember that the relationship is what's important, okay? That relationship that your body has with these types of foods. And so people say, well, I don't eat pork. I don't eat blah, blah, blah. It's not that it's necessarily pork that's the problem. It might be for you, because your body may be like, oh, I can't handle that. But it's the way that it's processed. So like, for instance, bacon, right? I love me some bacon. Now, cured foods, so basically preserved foods, like bacon, they have a restricted ingredient in them, which I have always known because of the industry that I work in, right? So I've always known cured foods have nitrates and nitrites. But understanding the significance that nitrates and nitrites have on my body and how it can trigger certain cravings and things, imbalances in your hormones, is what's like, whoa. So the same thing is not just with nitrates and nitrites. The same thing is with sugars, bleached flour, those things that have a greater process on them that essentially alters their original state in a way. Now I'm not like the type of person, if it doesn't come from the ground, I'm not eating it. No. That's not my style, right? But what I am paying attention to is how many of these derivatives have they added to what I'm about to eat, right? because that's super important to know about the derivatives that they have given you in your food, and then just add it as a simple component. So basically, it's a form of gene isolation, right? But it's not gene isolation, right? But it's a form of ingredient isolation, because this has certain characteristics. We'll put it in to make the food more stable so it can stay on the shelf. That's the problem with the breads you have in the store. They have to put a preservative in it. Otherwise, guess what? You would have your bread for 2 days and then it would be molded, right? Same thing with your produce, all of those types of things. So it's just being mindful and understanding that relationship and minimizing it. Not completely eliminating it, but being aware and minimizing what's going on with that. So, yeah, 2017 is when I started my true workout journey and understanding about muscle mass and the difference that muscle mass makes. Because I always knew that I didn't want to lose weight and be super flabby. I was like, that's not me. That's not me. So I don't want to lose 50 pounds in 4 months. Walking around here looking like jiggle, 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 jiggle. Right? But really what happened was I lost my muscle mass. And so the approach I'm taking is to where I maintain my muscle mass. Obviously, muscle mass is going to drop, right? It's just natural. But I don't want a significant muscle mass drop, because that, for me, is not beneficial to my life to have lost all this muscle mass. And now I can't lift like my everyday stuff, right? Y'all see my other videos. I'm out in the garden. I'm lifting 40, 50 pound bags or how much ever. I'm lifting dirt, moving dirt. I want to continue to be able to do those things. And in order to continue to be able to do those things, you got to have muscle mass. So that's the approach that I'm taking. However, this last year, I have now learned and understand the relationship, like I said, that your hormones have with your food. I will link the channel down below that was gifted to me. And in that, the lady, she's a doctor, I believe. But I think she's in like the UK or somewhere. But anyway, what she talks about is how she was similar to myself, where she would yo-yo. I never yo-yo down. I mean, I would like 20 pounds, 25, but that would be like where I would level off, because at that point in my life, I was back eating how I wanted to eat, doing what I wanted to do. I wanted this to fit right here so I could finish this video. But anyway, lady, she talked about not eating so many ultra processed foods, and she talks about the relationship that your food, that what you input in those ultra processed foods mess with your hormones to create the cravings, aka the addictions. Because I'm the first one to tell you that I am straight up addicted to sugar. 100% addicted to sugar. There is no doubt in my mind that I'm addicted to sugar. I know I am. And so that's what's so, you gotta be in, and that's the other part. You have to be aware of yourself. So when you really want to change and you want to really be about something, you have to be aware of you and know you and accept you in its full iteration, the good, the bad, the ugly, the mediocre, the greatest. Because then when you face it and address it, then at that point you can begin to make the change if that's what your choice is, right? In my situation, I've decided that this is finally what I've decided to do. And I asked myself, like, and you have to sit down and ask yourself, like, why am I feeling this way in this moment? That's why I do the little daily vlogs talking about this is how I'm feeling in this moment. This is how I'm feeling right now, right? Because I need to dissect and really understand what situation or what circumstances are bringing about these feelings, bringing about why I want to gravitate towards that. Because you may not recognize that you're an emotional eater, but you are an emotional eater. You may not recognize that you are an emotional eater, but you are an emotional eater. Many of us are. And you're like, I'm good. But at the end of the day, like for me, going to work, eating out every day at work, even though I had my lunch prepared, had my lunch packed, it was just something that was freeing about that. It's like, okay, I've been cooped up in here for this amount of time. Now I can put my energy to do and go where I want to go. Yeah, it was liberating. It was a liberating freedom for me. And in return, I wasted a lot of money and made a lot of bad choices. But thanks be to God, that he's kept me in all of it. Right now, we're just talking about diet and that, but just, man, we could go on and on, all of us. I'm just going to leave it at that. You just sit down yourself and survey and think about and really take the time and not be afraid to face those emotions, to face you. And I'm not going to tell you it's not scary because you peeled it off and you're like, oh, God dang. That is a lot. I didn't mean for this video to go this long, but I'm just sitting here and I'm thinking and I'm thankful, and that doesn't mean that just because I have this understanding now that things won't happen, circumstances won't come up, situations won't arise. But as long as you keep your motivation in the same spot and your goal, not necessarily your motivation in the same spot, but I mean your goal, you keep your goal focused and you keep where you want to be, you keep that in view, then nothing will stop you. I've had so many ups and downs. We can take it from 2013 when I first did Camp Gladiator. We can take it to 2017 when I first started working out at the Y and learned how to lift weights. We could take it there. It's now 2025, right? I don't look that much different from the outside. Now, I do have a lot more muscle mass now than I did back then. And that's a positive thing that has come up from the entire situation. But the thing is, I've kept the goal in mind. Even when I had times of highs and even when I had times of lows, I have never in my heart left the fact that I want this. This is what I know God desires for me, right? Now, just at a point to where it's like, you know what? I don't care. We're going to do this. We're going to sit in it. We're going to recognize it. And we're going to succeed in it, right? So, hey, I just decided, I just woke up and God was like, okay, Now you ready? And I said yes. That's really what that's all it is. Sometimes you have to sit down and finally surrender. And that's what keeps you consistent, because your heart and your mind are grounded and focused, and your eyes are focused on what it needs to be focused on. So therefore your heart is focused where it needs to be, and therefore distractions don't come as easily. So yeah, that's a long ramble, but at the same time, it's like, you can do it. You can be the best you can be. Now do the best you can do. That's not perfect. It's the best. It's the best that you can do. But don't sell yourself short. In other words, there's so much more that you can do that you don't realize you can do. So don't sell yourself short. Right? Just be the best you can be. And do that. Do the best. So don't just be about it. Have action behind it. And so that's just where I am. I've been saying it, not realizing how much I've been feeding that saying into me for the last, 3 years. But anyway, y'all be blessed. Stay up. Trust God. Push through. Persevere. As we continue on this journey, my DEXA scan will be the next video. Long format video. I may have like an update or something, but I do the DEXA scan tomorrow on Saturday, so we'll go through those results and I'll show you exactly what the DEXA scan is and what it all entails and how you can use that as a tool to help with your diet and your exercise and all of those things. So that's the next tool in the cha-ching arsenal, baby. All right, peace out. One love. Jesus Christ, remember that. All right.